Workers at the Rosa Del Monte Moving Company have been busy shipping out some of the 100,000 Puerto Ricans who have left this U.S. territory since 2010.
A lot of these trucks are full of people who are just
leaving.
literally shipping out.
Yes.
Neftali Rodriguez says many of those leaving are middle-class Puerto Ricans. Meanwhile, jobs disappeared when Congress ended tax breaks for American companies to build here. Then the Great Recession hit. Unemployment stands at over 14%.
If your family isn't okay here, then you have to move on. That's just the way it is.
Puerto Rico's government borrowed heavily to stay afloat. Now it owes $70 billion it may not be able to repay. Much of that debt is owned by American investors in the form of Puerto Rican bonds in their retirement accounts. Alejandro Garcia Padilla is Puerto Rico's governor.
You can't declare bankruptcy, but people say that you could go into default. Can you, will you?
It is a reality that we are doing what we need to do not to go into default.
Some investment managers like Puerto Rican bonds because they're tax-free and pay high returns. But many American investors have no idea they own the bonds, which have become riskier since credit rating agencies downgraded them to junk status earlier this year.
Do you feel like the downgrade was a fair decision?
No, not at all. We reformed the three main pension systems in less than a year. We reduced 70% of the deficit. So, economy is doing better than in 2012.
Back then, a very large number of Puerto Ricans
and budget
settled
is
in New
better.
York City and
But
in other parts
Neftali
of the
Rodriguez
northeastern
says
US.
some people can't
This
wait.
time,
These people have no
mostly coming
choice.
to Florida.
Right?
If
Well,
they had
it
a
was
choice, they
a
would
very
stay.
tough choice.
He hopes to soon be bringing people home instead of moving them away. Anna Warner, CBS News, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Workers at the Rosa Del Monte Moving Company have been busy shipping out some of the 100,000 Puerto Ricans who have left the U.S. territory since 2010.
A lot of these trucks are full of people who are just
leaving.
literally shipping out.
Yes.
Neftali Rodriguez says many of those leaving are middle-class Puerto Ricans. Jobs disappeared when Congress ended tax breaks for American companies to build here. Then the Great Recession hit. Unemployment stands at over 14%.
If your family isn't okay here, then you have to move on. That's just the way it
Over the
is.
last 10 years or so,
Puerto Rico's government borrowed heavily to stay afloat. Now it owes $70 billion it may not be able to repay. Much of that debt is owned by American investors in the form of Puerto Rican bonds in their retirement accounts. Alejandro Garcia Padilla is Puerto Rico's governor.
You can't declare bankruptcy, but people say that you could go into default. Can you, will you?
The fact is that we are doing what we need to do not to go into default.
Some investment managers like Puerto Rican bonds because they're tax-free and pay high returns. But many American investors have no idea they own the bonds, which have become riskier since credit rating agencies downgraded them to junk status earlier this year.
Do you feel like the downgrade was a
He
fair
hopes to
decision?
soon be bringing people home
We reformed
instead
the
of
three
moving
main
them away.
pension systems in less than a year. We reduced 70% of the deficit. So, economy is doing better than in 2012. And budget is better.
But Neftali Rodriguez says some people can't wait.
These people have no choice.
If they had a choice, they would stay.
He hopes to soon be bringing people home instead of moving them away. Anna Warner, CBS News, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Workers at the Rosa Del Monte Moving Company have been busy shipping out some of the 100,000 Puerto Ricans who have left this U.S. territory since 2010.
A lot of these trucks are full of people who are just
leaving.
literally shipping out.
Yes.
A tax incentive
Neftali
the Puerto Rican
Rodriguez
government
says many
used
of
to
those
offer
leaving are
to
middle-class
attract
Puerto
companies to
Ricans.
establish their
Jobs
operations on the island.
disappeared when Congress
In
ended tax
1996,
breaks for
the
American
U.S. federal
companies to
government
build here.
canceled
Then
the
the
program.
Great Recession hit. Unemployment stands at
Once
over
companies started
14%.
leaving, Puerto
If your
Rico's
family
government
isn't
was
okay here,
incapable
then you have
of
to move
attracting
on. That's
investment
just the way
and
it is.
instead went on a
Puerto
spending
Rico's
spree,
government borrowed
building
heavily to stay
infrastructure
afloat.
and
Now
hiring
it
a
owes
workforce
$70 billion
even
it
as
may
they
not be
couldn't
able
afford
to
to
repay.
cover those
Much
costs.
of that debt is owned by
Instead,
American
they kept
investors
issuing
in the
municipal
form of
bonds
Puerto
to
Rican
pay
bonds and their
deficit.
retirement accounts.
Now the financial
Alejandro
crisis
Garcia
has
Padilla
left the
is
island
Puerto
with
Rico's
a $7
governor.
billion
You can't
debt.
declare bankruptcy.
Government
But
money
people
is
say
supported
that
and
you
then
could go
with
into
the
the
Senate of
Senate.
Puerto Rico
has to
is
work
critical of how
constantly
big
and
Puerto Rico's
ceaselessly
government
to
has
explore the
become.
What we need to do
Government is broke.
not to
of
go into
regional
the
economic
Some
cooperation
investment
and
managers
integration.
like Puerto Rican
has to
bonds
work
because they're
constantly
tax-free
and
and pay high
ceaselessly
returns.
to explore
But
the
many American
practical
investors have no idea they
of
own the
regional
bonds,
economic
which have become
cooperation
riskier
and
since
integration.
credit rating agencies downgraded them to junk status
You gotta see
earlier
that
this
people are
year.
still spending
Do
money.
you feel like the downgrade
So what's
was a
the problem?
fair
The problem
decision?
is-
No, not at all. We reformed the three main pension systems
Puerto Rico
in
got a
less than a
chance to
year.
put their house in order.
We
and
reduced
fight
70%
rumors
of the deficit.
of becoming
So
America's Greece.
economy is doing
After
better than
having
in
a
2012.
successful bond sale and passing a balanced
and
budget.
budget is better.
But not
Neftali
everybody is
Rodriguez
convinced
says some
of a
people
positive
can't
outcome.
wait.
These people have no choice.
Alexis
Show a
Garcia,
certain
the owner of
if they had a
Phoenix,
choice, they
a
would do
casual
it.
eatery in
In
San
the
Juan.
search
He
for
hopes to
show
soon
a
be
certain
bringing people home
political
instead of
creativity.
moving them
in
away.
the show a certain
Anna Warner,
political
CBS News,
creativity.
But we're
San
expanding because
Juan,
demand
in
Puerto
the
Rico.
search for
But we're staying
new
pretty much right now
political and
into
economic
Workers at the Rosa
forms
Del Monte
is
Moving
answers
Company have been
to
busy shipping out
residential
some of the
areas that are
100,000
that don't
Puerto
have
Ricans
a
who have
project
left
right
Puerto
here
Rico's
that
territory
need us.
Of
since
international
2010.
We already have our
A lot of these
towing
trucks are
on the
full
mainland.
of people who
We've
are
already
just
been feeling
just
the waters
leaving,
in the
correct.
States,
literally shipping
in
out.
several
Yes.
states over the past year.
Neftali
It's inevitable.
Rodriguez
We are
says
definitely
many
going
of
to
those
see
leaving are middle-class Puerto Ricans. Jobs disappeared when Congress ended tax
Who's
breaks
buying?
for American companies to build here. Then the Great
I'd be on the
Recession
first
hit.
plane outta
Unemployment
here.
stands at over
For Emilio Figueroa,
14%.
a
If
successful
your family isn't
entrepreneur in
okay
Puerto
here,
Rico,
then you
who
have
owns
to move
6
on. That's
restaurants,
just the way it
a
is.
catering company, and a
Puerto
clothing
Rico's
line.
government borrows heavily to stay
Problems of the
afloat.
island
Now it owes
transcends
$70 billion
economic
it
or
may not be
physical
able to
crisis.
repay.
Instead,
Much of that
it's
debt
about
is owned by
redefining
American
what
investors
Puerto
in the
Rico
form of
is.
Puerto Rican
Being
bonds
that
in their retirement accounts.
capital of the Caribbean,
Alejandro
I believe
Garcia
in the future of
Padilla
the
is
South.
Puerto Rico's governor.
I believe in
You
Puerto
can't
Rico as
declare
the capital of the
bankruptcy.
Caribbean.
But people say that you could go into default.
Of small economies.
Can you? Will you?
There's nowhere else
The
to
fact
be.
is that we are doing what we need to
People
do.
save for 52
not to
weeks
go
out of the
into the
year to come and
Some
vacation
investment
here.
managers
Why
like
would
Puerto
I
Rican
go
bonds
anywhere
because
else?
they're
Why would I
tax-free
live
and pay high
anywhere else?
returns. But many American
This is the
investors
place
have
to
no
be.
idea they own the bonds,
spoke to many
which have
Puerto
become
Ricans that
riskier
recently
since
left.
credit rating
And
agencies
quite a few
downgraded them
have
to
not
junk
lost hope
status earlier
of
this
one
year.
day
Do you
returning
feel
to
like
their
the
island.
downgrade was a fair decision?
No,
In
not
this
at all.
land of
We
happy
reformed
people,
the three
it
main
wouldn't be
pension
surprising
systems
to
in
see
less than a year.
homecoming.
We reduced 70%
After all,
of the deficit.
it wouldn't be the
So
first
that
time
they
Puerto
have
Ricans
economy is
to
left.
doing better than in 2012.
Determine and develop the
and
clearest
budget is better.
But
Neftali
one
Rodriguez
has to
says
work
some people can't
constantly and
wait.
ceaselessly
These people have no
to
choice.
explore the
Critics of
practical
the U.S.
possibilities
government are blaming
of
Congress
regional
for the
economic
crisis.
He hopes to
cooperation
soon
and
be
2006,
bringing
integration.
people
removed federal
home
tax
Has to
instead
work
credits
of
from
moving them
concentrated
away.
profits in Puerto
ceaselessly
Rico,
Anna
to
Warner,
which caused
explore
many
the
Puerto Rican-based
practical
San Juan,
companies to
possibilities
flee to
Puerto
tax
of regional
havens, such
economic
as the Cayman
cooperation
Islands
and
and
integration has to work constantly and ceaselessly to explore the practical possibilities of regional economic cooperation and integration.
He hopes to soon be bringing people home instead of moving them away.